Stage 1, pressing for flight.
We're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
Yes, sir. Reading you loud and clear. Clear. The clock has started.
The clock has started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Yes.
Welcome to Pressing for Flight, where we are in the middle of a clap off.
I can't do that.
Me neither.
No, me neither.
Simply because I'm too mature. It has nothing to do with my ability to do it.
There's not a clap off if one person's doing it.
Well, Daryl's doing it. Daryl knows how to do it. Oh, the one I can't do the one hand.
I can't hear anything.
Got too much time on
right.
your hands, man.
I'm glad you're both
No
your
pun
videos next to
intended.
each other.
Wait, why are you still single?
Who's talking about? I am your host, Stephen Marr. With me this evening, I have Matthew, Mr. Jordan. You can't see my face.
Hey guys, what up?
Matthew, Mr. Cutshaw.
The two
Where are
Mats
you
were on
pointing?
the top.
Stephen, Mr. Keagle.
Hi, I'm down below.
Becca, Mr. Pinland.
Hello.
And our good friend who is in town, sort of. He's over in Orlando right now, but he is in town for some launches and some booster recoveries.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Daryl Sausse.
I'm back. They let me back into Florida.
And this time you don't have two drunk fools behind you mocking you.
Oh God, no! They're just in chat this time, thankfully.
They're only in chat. Yeah. Hello, Seth. I don't know if Zach's there yet, but hello everybody in chat. Listen for a title. You know.
Yes.
Ooh, I need to be writing.
We rely on you, and well, here's the thing. Whatever you come up with in chat, it's got to go up against what Becca comes up with.
And she's the master.
And I'm very
She's
good.
she's very good.
I don't remember what last week's title was, but there was a good suggestion in chat, but I think we ended up going with Becca's because it was
Somebody looks unsure. Tina, Linda.
yeah.
Tina looks unsure, yeah.
Tina
Tina?
looks unsure.
Tina looks unsure. Yeah, we've just had a great week. In fact, like 15 minutes prior to starting the show, I realized we didn't just have Crew-1. We also had the Atlas launch on Friday.
Oh, so good.
The most beautiful.
The most beautiful rocket.
So good.
I don't know how they do it. It's just so. Well, I do know how they do it. It's so solids, man. Like if you ever watch one without the solids, it's not quite the same.
No.
And just the last handful of times Atlas has launched, they have done really good. I don't know if it's on purpose. At this point, it's starting to look like it's on purpose, but they like to do these sunrise, sunset launches. And they're beautiful.
And I'll tell you what, that sucker scooted off the pad, man. It was insane how fast it launched. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Speaking of how fast it got off the pad, Steve-O, did you go find the video that we got of it?
I did. Real quick, before we get into current stuff, I did want to pour one out. Oh, wait. Actually, no. First, got so many things I want to start with. First, congratulations to Rocket Lab because their first stage booster did splash down. That's as much as we know at this point. Peter Beck, the CEO, tweeted this image. Wow, it's a very small image. Usually these blow up to fill the screen. But this is looking up from the inner stage to the parachute. So looking forward to seeing what they got. I don't know if we'll see more, between now and the time they get it back to land. It'd be really cool if we could see some video of it splashing down. And by the way, anybody that follows SpaceX Fleet updates, Gavin, he's had this account, Rocket Lab recovery updates, whatever it's called. It's one of his other accounts. He's got the ULA Navy and all that stuff. So follow that because he's, now that Rocket Lab's recovering boosters, you're going to want to know what's going on. But the other thing I wanted to start with is they have decided to demolish the Arecibo Observatory.
No.
Is there any plans to rebuild it? Or just
Not currently. They're currently just now making the decision within the past 48 hours that kind of a little backstory here. There was a cable that snapped earlier this year. It was an auxiliary cable, so it was not a main cable. It did a significant amount of damage. They were in the process of planning the repair for that when a main cable also snapped. And upon doing all the research into how exactly this would have to happen, they've decided that there's no way to repair it while maintaining safety of a crew doing the repair. So they will be decommissioning the large dish, which is it's run by or owned by the National Science Foundation. It's actually run by UCF here locally. They do the management of the dish.
I didn't know that.
There are extra facilities. This is just the 1,000 foot dish that is being decommissioned. There are other facilities at Arecibo that they will continue to use.
There's like a LiDAR
there is
observatory
LiDAR,
or something, right?
LiDAR observatory, and I believe they built one of the what are they called? I was just listening to a podcast about it where they can sense magnetic waves through the universe, gravitational waves. It very interesting stuff. It's like a giant L-shaped tunnel, essentially.
Well, if anybody's like me, your first experience with the Arecibo Observatory was
007.
Yes, was GoldenEye. And
playing that game will never be the same.
Right? Yeah, and it was playing the game. It wasn't seeing the movie.
I think
it was both.
Far more people were probably their first experience was the LeVar Burton Reading Rainbow episode.
Oh, take a
that was
look!
On Arecibo.
It's in a book.
Take a look. It's in a book. They did an entire episode, and he walked across the he walked across the dish. They had to wear special shoes that were made out of the same material the dish is made out of to walk on it. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I've had shootouts on the telescope myself. So has Jodie Foster.
Yep.
Jodie Foster was there.
Yeah, she was there.
Wait. Was she in Contact?
Yes. Yeah.
In Contact.
Yeah. This is from Contact. So two beloved movies. This one more so than GoldenEye, but GoldenEye was my first. I don't know. I ran around chasing after 006 on top of the they call the level was called Cradle. I don't know why they didn't just call it Arecibo, but.
And they didn't perfectly recreate it because they had like the actual one has that dome on the bottom, but they took that out in the game. I guess they just didn't want to.
It was just like a bottomless pit, wasn't it?
Yeah, like when you fall off it, it's a bottomless pit. But I'm saying that dome that hangs down from the top. Yeah. They didn't put that in the game.
Yeah.
I guess they just didn't want to draw it. I don't know.
But the movie was filmed there. That's 100%.
Yes.
That is totally a fact. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully they can build something else. I mean, I'm not even sure that it's like the best antenna or observatory that we have. You know,
it's the best of its kind.
Of its kind. Okay.
Of its kind, and it's 50 years old. It's a very old dish. It's been used a lot for exoplanetary research. It's been used extensively in SETI, which is the search for intelligent life. Right. I believe Arecibo's where the quote unquote WOW
the signal,
recording was received.
Right.
So there's a lot of history there.
The WOW the World of Warcraft recording?
No, it
WOW
was
signal.
It was a signal that they received in, what was it, like 1978 or 76? And 77, hey,
looks like.
Right in between what I said.
Let me move this. Okay, yeah. So this image right here.
Oh, that was actually on a different telescope.
Of course. Was it on a different telescope?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Well, since we're talking about it, these numbers mean nothing to me. But to the scientists watching them, they do mean something. This is a sequence. I'm sure these letters are probably representing some radio wave. It's not like they received a 6, an E, a Q, a U, a J, and a 5.
No, that's the strength of the radio wave they received. Like it counts up through, I believe, 9, and then it begins counting A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay.
So it wraps around in that way. So it was a very large, narrow band reception.
And we've
Like
never
you
gotten
see, they circle the 6s and 7s. They circled this entire sequence because it was that important, and it was so important. The astronomer who received it wrote, "Wow."
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, if they could continue to get a signal like this, then it might be a sign of intelligent life. But we've never gotten a signal like this since then.
Nope.
But
So it's an awful lot like the deep sea boop or bloop, called the bloop.
how do I get out of this? Yeah. So what antenna was it? Did you see?
Big Ear Radio Telescope,
Big Ear,
OSU.
That's not the other one that's featured. What's the? Is it the very large array?
That was in New Mexico.
Is that the one
VLE is
in
in
Contact,
Mexico.
where she's out there
Yes.
controlling all those massive dishes?
Those massive dishes actually move around on their own. They're on like little motorized vehicles that move them slowly through the desert.
Yeah,
that's been in a few movies,
right?
Not just
Yes,
Contact.
It's a great place to film too. It's beautiful.
So pour one out for Arecibo. Maybe maybe once it's demolished, maybe they'll build something even more high tech in its place.
They said they're decommissioning it. Are they actually going to demolish it or just?
I read
stop
demolished
using it?
okay.
I mean, they can demolish it. I don't know how safely they can demolish it.
Rocket launcher.
Because of the damage that's already been done. Because they said the other two main cables, after the first one broke, they looked at them and they had shearing and they had like broken strands inside the cable.
Like, it's not even
already
safe for anybody to be out there.
Yeah, it's not safe for anyone to even be near the dish at this time.
To set.
So making it a swimming pool is out of the question.
Well, Harry's idea was to turn it into a wok and make some stir fry.
Oh yeah. We can feed the world. It's got a big hole in the bottom of it. What is not pictured?
You just hold your plate underneath it.
Yeah, what's not pictured here? I guess I should have had one that has the hole in it, or maybe I'll just look at this here article by Lauren Grush.
Hey, she was.
Look at this.
She was like 2 cars down for me at Crew-1.
Oh, really?
I think that was her.
Yeah, she's good. She shows up on a lot of podcasts and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, massive hole. This is just from a cable falling down. It wasn't even like hardware. It's just the cable fell down. And somewhere in here, it was talking about how
the
each
cable's
cable
under tension.
Yeah, and each cable. Yeah, look, the remaining main cables each weighing about 15,000 pounds. That's just the cables. But no, I mean, I played GoldenEye. I know what to do. Rocket launchers, man. That's how you, from a distance.
It solves everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, let's get back on track. We were going to talk about Atlas. And I think, is this the right one? Is this the one you want? Or is it this one here?
The one on top.
All right.
That is a remix video that I put together. Now, Zach Hall tweeted the first. Oh, you got to hear my reaction. I'll shut up.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's still recording.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, some of that non-copyrighted material.
Hey, yeah, I don't think Daryl's going to shut us down.
Nope.
I do kind of want to get us out of here for now. Oh, that's beautiful.
There is a headphone warning at the end, though.
Okay. Yeah, the volume is kind of loud anyway. I'll get it.
Okay.
That's the shot I wanted to get with my GoPro.
Yeah, you were a little further away.
Yeah.
Because even inside the fence, you're further away than what we are at Atlas. Oh, I like that.
Well, that's where it was supposed to be for this. Yeah.
That's at normal speed with the sound.
That's crazy.
Wow.
setup goes, man.
Yes, it does. And I left it there, I left a lot on the end to see the smoke clearing afterwards and see like the hell that it left behind.
Yeah, the aftermath, man.
Down.
That's one of the coolest parts is going back to the pad and seeing what it's like.
This Atlas launch made a mess. Because I've had my gear out at an Atlas pad for Perseverance earlier this year. Yeah. When I got it back, it was not that bad. Like, I don't know what they did to this pad because I haven't watched the full video yet, but they went nuts with the water. Like, they made a mess of just about everybody's stuff. I had 4 different things at the pad. Everything was a mess.
It could be because of the new GEMs.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, it could be.
They didn't know how they're going to perform. Maybe, I don't know.
Your last launch, was it? Did it have boosters on it, or was it one of those no booster Atlases?
No, it was Perseverance.
Yeah,
Perseverance. You said Perseverance. I'm sorry,
Perseverance was a 5.3.1, and this was a 5.4.1.
Yeah.
Because my stuff was basically clean. I was on the north side.
That's probably why.
So there was something going on with the wind or something, because those of us, well, I should ask Adrian because he was right next to me, and Adam was behind me somewhere. Our stuff was relatively clean, man. I didn't even really do any cleaning off of the lens. Maybe, I did my typical clean the lens before shooting something the next time, but it seemed like it was mostly south of the flame trench. There was
there was one setup I had with the tilt shift lens. That's the trick lens I've been playing around with at the pad.
Right.
I had that one set up all the way by the fence where the rails are, where they actually roll it in from the VIF and then close the fence behind it.
Right.
I had it set up almost right up against the fence, and that still got some schmutz on it. Not a lot. But
I'm gonna help people out because we're talking about the layout of this thing. So I might as well bring up Google Maps and then show people what we're talking about.
Yep.
How do I make it go satellite? No, that's Explorer. How do you do it?
Bottom left. That box that says satellite.
The box that says satellite.
Holy smokes.
All right. No, that's 40. Okay, yeah. So when you're at the pad, when you're at 41, we're allowed to basically set up along this ring here, and this is the flame trench. And it sounds like a lot of people, including Daryl, was set up down here, and me and a couple others were set up on this side. And so I'm guessing, the wind was just blowing from the north, and whatever was going on at the pad, including, the schmutz from the boosters.
Great word, by the way.
Yeah. That's the thing. It wasn't actually debris being thrown out. It was like wet droplets of stuff. Because I haven't heard anyone else saying they had pitting in their lenses. They just had a bunch of stuff they had to clean off. That was it.
So, that's good.
Dirty water landed on the lens and dried on there.
Yeah. And plus, they were throwing a lot more water in than they usually do because it's an upgraded water system for Vulcan coming up. But those are the captures I got.
These are your pad
there
shots.
At the top. Yeah, that's the pad shot. That was set up right next to the iPhone. That was a crop from the same camera. That's the only one of my normal remote cameras that got something good. Yeah. The other one with the tilt shift lens, I screwed that up, and I know why.
Did you post it here?
I did, but it's in a separate tweet. It's right above this one. That's
at least yours is in focus.
It's in focus on the wrong spot.
It's focused on
the tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. It's focused on the nearest tower, not even on that middle one there.
Yeah. What happened was tilt shift lenses are weird. So photographers have a completely normal habit where sometimes when they're trying to frame up a shot, they'll focus on something, they'll keep it in focus and just turn a little bit to one side to move it where they want in the shot.
Yep.
With a tilt shift lens, you got to do something a little different. You got to actually sit there and turn the little knob and make sure it focuses, in the right spot.
Yeah.
And I went to an old habit, which usually isn't wrong, but in this case it was. So that's what happened with that one. The last one, the engine shot, I had that in like the inner ring of grass at the pad, and I had it like real down low on the ground and everything like that. No, because it didn't fire.
Oh, that's right. That's the one you said didn't fire.
Two launches in a row. Same camera didn't fire. Don't know why.
And you still don't know why on that one.
He's out. He's out.
Yep, he's out. Buying a new camera.
Yep, new camera. I'll buy him.
But once I saw that iPhone footage, I got over it real fast.
Dude. Yeah, that was awesome.
The story behind that is that, so you all know Zach Hall, works with us with spaceexplorer.com.
He might even be in
He
the chat
also,
right now.
or he's asleep.
Could be.
Probably. He also writes for 9 to 5 Mac, and Apple sent him some of the new iPhone 12s to play around with. One of them was an iPhone 12 Pro with 500 something gigs of space. And we were sitting there doing the math. It's like, all right, we could do a time lapse for this long and, only use the 256 and he said, well, wait, I got the 512. What can we do with that? So we looked up like the chart and everything like that. And we realized we could get away with 240 frames per second slow motion. So what I did was, as soon as I set that up, I hit record and walked away. When I got back to it, 10 and a half hours, one recording.
Whoa.
Apple should be listening. I mean, this says
they know about it. They've seen it.
I mean,
Tim Cook has seen it.
Good. Yes, that's awesome, man. Because that speaks volumes for their battery life. How much battery life was left?
Well, we put one of those 25,000 milliamp hour batteries on it.
Oh, an external. Okay.
Here's the crazy thing. That thing was only down by 1/4 when I got back to that phone.
Wow. Okay.
And I was worried all day. Like, I was hanging out at the port all day. I was worried the heat was going to get it, because working for the phone company with the iPads they give us, I have overheated that thing so many times, just putting it on top of the cross box or whatever. And I realized if the screen is facing the sun, that's what does it.
Yeah.
But if you tilt the screen back to where it's not taking a direct sunlight, it's fine.
I was taking time lapse in an airplane one time. I had my phone just wedged in the window, like the slot where the little screen thing slides down. This was an iPhone 4, I think. It was just the right size to like slide my phone in there, and I was able to just leave it and, I don't know, read the safety brochure or something. And I look over at it at one point, and the screen was off, so I'm like, what's going on? I look at it, and it had overheated. So just like leaving it in the window of an airplane was enough to overheat it.
Yeah, if that daylight
as an Uber driver, I would overheat my phone on a daily basis, to at least to the point where it would not charge because it was too hot to charge.
Yeah.
And we thought about it, later on, because this was like, we planned this out like the night before, and then we went and set it up and everything like that. So with more planning, we're going to do a little better with it, with protecting it and whatnot. Like, it just wiped off. Everything was fine with it. We don't want to go for the 10-hour video, because editing that in Premiere Pro was an absolute pain in the butt.
You can't. Yeah.
Even just to chop it up and get, what I wanted. Absolute pain in the butt. It just did not like the file.
Yeah. So what can you maybe chop it into smaller files on the phone itself?
We can. I think that's how Zach got his version of the video off of it, was he did it on the phone, exported it, and then I took the entire 200 something gigabyte file and then started playing with it like that.
Yeah.
It was rough. I was using his MacBook, which is way more powerful than mine. It crashed on that a few times, Premiere Pro. it was bad.
Dang. Man, it's funny. Like, you do all this, you just want to take some great footage. You're not really thinking about what the processing part is going to be like. It's like, oh wait, something has to be able to open this.
But it was worth the wait with the way that came out. It really was.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Is there an app for doing a trigger? Like a time?
No.
We've looked around at stuff The problem is with some of those schedulers, the time doesn't go far enough out. Like you can have some that do a delayed start on a video recording, but the time doesn't go far enough out for what we need. Like if we need it 10 hours out or 24 hours out, something like that.
That's kind of like what Keagle was dealing with. He wanted to use his GoPro, but he could only set a time. He couldn't set the date, so it had to be within 24 hours, right?
Right.
Yeah. And actually,
well, it's nice that they at least have that feature now. I guess they didn't until the Hero 9.
Yeah.
You can actually schedule a time for it to start.
Now they just need to make it where you can schedule the date, because they're not thinking about this kind of thing, you know.
No,
this is such
really
a
not.
niche market. There's, 50 people that do this. There's about 50 people that do this regularly. You know, there's a couple other people that come in and give it a shot.
And I'm new to the club now.
yeah. Hey, congratulations, man. I mean,
thank you.
Getting to do it. Because you had a camera set for you one time before. I think Zach set it for you. But to be out there yourself and know exactly what you're framing up and what you're going to get, there's just nothing like it.
Yep. Right, yeah. And that's not my first pad shots. That actually came, 2 weeks ago for GPS 3.
Right.
Again, engine shot didn't fire, but I was able to crop down the wide shot enough to make it look like an engine shot. It's just too blown out, so I didn't get the detail. But everybody else I show it to is like, dude, that's amazing. So
yeah,
I'm happy with it. It's currently the phone background that I have.
Nice.
You learn and improve, man. That's what it's all about. You learn and you improve.
I'll just show what I got. This is actually with Julia's camera. Day before, she's like, do you want to take mine out there? She's like, I can't go, so if you want to take mine, you can. This is a Nikon something or other. I'd never used a Nikon. Turned out great. I had lined this
5500, I believe.
I think so. I had lined this up. The reason I was even on the north side of the flame trench is because if it had launched at its original time, the 513, the sun was going to be about right here.
Yep.
So that didn't happen, but I'm still really happy with what I did get, because it ended up launching 3 minutes after sunset, and then the sky was just blue.
Yeah, it was a real pretty shade of blue.
Yeah. And nice highlights on the, I love when the plume has these like sporadic highlights here and there, you know, it's great. And then, wait, where did the other one go? Right. There. And that was with my own camera. And this one turned out exactly like I wanted it. That was one of those attempts that like, yep, that's exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, just don't show mine. That thing's atrocious.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask.
It's
not
that bad.
No, it's not. It's framed up great. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to show it and
focus.
Yeah, you could show
talk
it,
about what you learned.
So freaking out of focus, man. I have this focus troll that seems to follow me around every single time I put a remote down. That it's just never in focus. It's always framed up really nice, but it's never in freaking focus, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it. I know it's kind of down here a little bit because you got all these Crew-1 launches or photos. Oh, was that it?
Oh, there it was. Yep.
Yep, this one right here. It's like it's framed up great. It's just out of focus. But I think we figured out what the issue was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
now I know that you can fine tune in live view.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's all tips and tricks that you don't really think about, that you never really used. You know, that's what I love about photography. You're always learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that was one of the first tricks I learned, but only because I was doing, when I first got my camera, I was doing astrophotography, not even real astrophotography, just like landscape with stars. And it was like, how do you find focus in the dark? And so the trick was, point your camera at a street light that's far away, and then use your little zoom in, zoom out buttons. Canon's got them, Nikon's got them. When you're in live view, you use that zoom in, zoom out, and it's not actually zooming with the lens. It's just a digital zoom to get you a little bit closer, so you can fine tune that focus
and get it sharp.
And so this is kind of like for anybody that's starting out in photography. If you're setting up a shot, this isn't like on the fly using autofocus. This is different. This is like a planned out shot, and you flip it into manual mode, and you put it on live view. You zoom in with that little zoom in button, and it's going to get you close enough that you can fine tune that focus, and then you're set. You zoom back out and take the shot.
Yeah, but if you look at the other one,
Greg Scott.
If you look at the other one, see that was the first one. Same thing. Same issue.
Pretty.
It is pretty.
That looks like a painting.
And then
and
the way that
it looks like a painting of a rocket launch.
The way the plume
No,
like
it's not a
frames
filter.
it.
It's just out of
Just
focus.
the being how
Yeah, it's just out of focus, man.
That's not out of focus. That's a soft focus.
Yeah.
There we go. I like
That's
that.
actually
That's a soft focus.
That's quite beautiful.
But at
Yeah, that
least
is.
you know that you've got your settings right. Look at this. I mean, you got
Oh, yeah.
detail in the flames. So
Yeah, I could have went just a little bit darker, but that's all right.
yeah, on this one,
Well-
sure. On this other one, though, this one, I feel like that's like perfect.
Yeah.
Whatever that
And
was.
keep
stick
in
with it.
mind that, we're able to do all these tricks and things like that with all these digital cameras today. Those guys back in the days of Apollo and whatnot, they were setting up with things like this, old school
Yeah.
film cameras.
Film
Right.
cameras. Where if you don't know your settings, you ain't getting nothing.
Nope,
Yeah.
you ain't getting squat.
That's a
I
trial.
don't even know how they set those off back in the day too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they must have had timers back then. It has.
Yeah,
to.
they probably had some kind of NASA built timer, not just a sound trigger like everybody buys from MyOps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Kyle make them.
the trial and error took
Yeah.
like days or weeks to find out. Like you didn't get to go pick up your camera and like look at it on the back of the camera and be like, oh, okay, I'm overexposed, I'm
Yeah,
underexposed.
you
or
got to go in the
whatever.
dark room and
Yeah.
play with the chemicals.
Yep.
Let's see where are we at here. Okay, let's talk about Crew-1.
Crew-1!
Crew-1!
Yeah, that was great.
Woo, woo, woo.
And
launch.
the first one of anybody that's here that I know of that had any contact, like actual physical contact with it, other than watching the stream, would be Mr. Stephen Keagle.
Yes.
Mhm.
So where
I
were
should've
you?
went out
Where were
there.
you
I
watching?
snuck
from?
out there. I was in the VAB parking lot.
Dang.
Yep. The
So you're
the
watching
joys of
the-
having being badged.
Well, why don't you hide somebody in your trunk next time, bro? Like,
I ain't risking that.
I don't blame you.
Whenever you roll up, you just show your badge, and he was just like, "All right, go ahead."
But see, they didn't tell us that we weren't able to go out there for this. If I would have known that, I would have been out there with them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say that we were not allowed to be out there.
Out where? Well, you were at the press site for this, right?
Yeah, I was badged.
Just across
I
the
was,
street.
Yeah, I was able to go out there, but I just didn't think about astronauts rolling out.
But weren't you at the press site?
No, he didn't go there.
Oh, you didn't.
No,
go
that
there?
was I went to go have lunch with. I think I was on my way to go have lunch with Keagle and Derek.
Oh, you just hadn't gone out there yet.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Okay, that's understandable.
yeah, I had something else. Yeah, I had other stuff going on, which I wish I would have been at the press site because Seeley was
Yeah,
out
because
there.
they drive right by there. Yeah,
Scott was
Seeley got a
out
great
there.
shot.
Yeah. When I was coming in, it was like I was watching the live feed. I was like 10 minutes before they said they were getting in the cars, and I was like, what if I just slow down and park in the parking lot and follow them or go in front of them? I was like, nah, I gotta get some pictures. I'm driving by. But I thought it'd be funny to be like in front of it or behind it.
And you know what? I didn't realize. I didn't look at this picture close enough. You've got the rocket in the background. You've got the helicopter flying. You got speed limit 35.
You got the
Not at
armored
all.
tank.
And they had 3 Model X's.
Mhm.
So is like one supposed to be a decoy, or that is that
No,
like some of their pad
one
techs?
one has if I remember right from DM2, I think they said they had like a doctor in the other one.
There's a doctor
or some kind of medic.
The
A medic.
The rest of their pad loadout crew is in there.
No, the loadout
Like
crew's
the
already
people
in the
who are
back.
in control of their like ventilation systems. and
Okay,
stuff
yeah,
are in the
yeah.
front car.
Now
The
that-
SpaceX ninjas.
The third
Yeah.
car was for the child.
Yes.
No, that's what the armor car is for.
Yeah.
The armor car is for the child.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because
no,
people be hating on the child these days.
That's it, man.
Leave
Leave the
it-
child
No, they-
alone.
Yeah,
Dang
leave
it.
leave the
No, Ben
child.
Cooper was in the third Tesla.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Front row. What is this? Oh, okay.
That's you.
This is me.
Was your shot?
Yeah, was there anything prior to launch? I'm trying to keep everything kind of in order. Yeah, let's
really.
Yeah,
Press conference stuff. Jim Bernstein and all them they talked a little bit. Got some pretty good shots of Sonny Williams.
Yeah,
I was able to pick up some swag out there. I don't know if those even show up on camera.
What'd you get?
Y'all and your swag.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is that mine?
That's actually really
No.
cool.
Mine, but yours,
I would
do
take
have
a
it.
shirt, man. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
On the front, it just says, I don't know. It's got the worm. This dumb.
Turn your background off, kid. Turn it off.
Hold on. Let me do that real quick. Let me figure this out. I didn't want to kill time. Background. How do I turn background off?
You scroll up and hit none.
None. I don't see it.
Cue the Jeopardy
I don't know how to
music,
do it.
folks.
That's all right. What
Yeah,
does
I
it
think,
say?
It's just got the NASA.
National.
Oh, it's what NASA stands for.
Administration.
Yeah.
But it's the worm logo.
Right.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
had
thought
some
they were giving
they
it
had some
out
patches,
first.
so I got a patch.
So
I thought they're giving it
that's
out
not
first.
showing
And I
up.
was like, "What? They're giving it out?" He's like, "No, it's for
No.
sale." I was like, "Oh,
$6.
Oh, you did? No, $6 for the
for the patch. Yeah.
Oh, for the patch. Oh.
Everything was tax free because it's
Nice.
All right. So there was a little bit of a scare there in the beginning. It was about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, I think, before launch, where they shut the hatch and they did their pressure test, and they had a leak.
Mm-hmm.
That was about the time I was showing up to work to walk down to the pier. And of course, I'm listening to the webcast and like, oh, okay, what do we got here? They're like, okay, we're gonna open it up. And then they came over the comms and they said, well, we've got about 10 minutes of margin right here. So basically, that's how long you got to get this part done. And so they open up the hatch. And this was like the only time we've ever been able to see them physically troubleshooting an issue leading up to launch, right? Because like we're seeing them working on the hatch itself. This isn't like, technicians or people at their computers.
Like one of the people who was sitting there doing the troubleshooting was Kjell Lindgren.
Really?
Was the backup? Yes. Okay. So I was like paying attention to the numbers that people were wearing, right? And Kjell Lindgren was the backup commander for this mission. He
Yeah,
was
we saw a
also
picture
the
of him.
last person to touch that hatch.
Is
Yes,
it's
we
the
saw the
one that-
picture of him. He was standing behind.
Yeah.
He had
Talked about him
20
last week.
written on him.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't catch that. Good catch.
He was number 20. He was the last person to touch the hatch before they were all done and clearing out and getting out of there. He was the last person to touch the vehicle. And he was actually in there like, okay, there's FOD up here is what it looked like he was saying at that point. There's some FOD right here. They cleaned it out.
And what a relief.
Resealed it.
Yeah.
What a relief.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, that was cool. You actually see them trying to fix the problem. They fixed the problem, and then they continued on, and it was a beautiful launch. Oh man, I should have written down what they said because it was so monumental. What Doug Hurley said right before launch. He said, let's light this candle. What did they say? Does anybody remember? Anybody in chat? Help us out.
I wasn't watching the live stream, so I don't know. I had so much other stuff going on. I didn't watch the live stream, so I don't know what was going on.
That was my connection to what was going on. I tried to see if there was like a media, countdown net phone number thing. I could not.
8675309.
Yeah.
Ask Seth about that.
Oh yeah.
We tricked. All right, so he was asking me and Zach.
Did you trick him?
Yeah, he fell for it. He didn't figure it out until about 3 hours after launch. It was great. We had him going the whole time. He was actually calling it.
And then, like, on the way home, you like play the song for him.
Like, well, that seems familiar.
He's like, wait, that's the
Those
number.
numbers sound familiar.
That's the number.
When I caught
What are
on
the
to
odds?
it, it was when we were driving on base. I'm dying laughing, about to get in a wreck on base. And Zach just had Seth going all night long with it. It made my night.
That's awesome.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right, now we can get to photos.
Yes.
All right, so this is mine, but there's kind of an interesting and kind of a funny, very Florida story behind this.
I heard about this.
Yeah, so I am really happy with how it turned out. So it had to have been about 45 minutes before launch, maybe an hour, and I had thought about doing something like this in the past. Like, what I really want to do is get someone that is a really good artist that can draw in the sand, like flatten out the sand, like somehow get some kind of like a handheld roller or something.
Like one of those people that make sandcastle sculptures.
Right.
That would be
like
awesome.
So get a way to flatten the sand to make it like a clean canvas, and put a symbol. You know, if it's just like a Starlink launch, you know, put like the SpaceX X on it, or if, you know, maybe the NASA worm or something. But being just me, I could you know, I could pound out some letters, you know. So I did go Crew-1. It only took, you know, 5 or 10 minutes, and then it took like 15-20 minutes to really get it right. I didn't have my light. This light right here that I'm using to light me up, this thing right here, I didn't bring it with me. So all I had was my phone, and I used its flashlight. But with a long exposure, you can paint that light very slowly and get what you're looking for. And the trick here, just if anybody ever tries to do something like this in the future, the trick here was keeping that light low so that these shadows would be cast in a way that the camera would see it, and that gave it the contrast so that you could actually see it. There was a couple frames where I held my phone up high and there wasn't much shadow, and you couldn't tell that there were any letters there. So I learned pretty quick, okay, you need to hold the light down low. So I held the light under the lens to cast that shadow just right. So I'm in the middle of it, and to my left, there's a family of, you know, like 4 or 5 people walking my direction. And now this is a wide angle lens, which makes it seem like I'm further away from this lifeguard stand than I actually am. I'm actually pretty close. I'm maybe like 20 feet from it. And they're walking, like their heading is right directly between my camera and the lifeguard stand. But I catch them, you know, I head them off at the pass. I'm like, hey, excuse me, hang on a second, I'm doing something. Of course, it's dark. I understood that they can't see that. You know, I was like, I'm doing a thing here. It's a photography thing. If you could just go around. And they're like, oh, sorry, yeah, no, that's cool, you know. And they went off, and it was pleasant. It was great. I found out later they had no idea that there was a launch, much less there are 4 people on board.
Yeah.
So that was exciting.
Amazes me.
The dad walked past me at one point, and I was like, hey, don't go anywhere. There's only 6 minutes to launch. And he's like, wait, what do you mean launch? I'm like, they're about to launch. I said, you don't know? Oh, man. I said, are you on vacation? He's like, yeah. I said, you just won the vacation lottery. They are about to launch 4 astronauts from right up there, and they're going to the space station. This is a very special time that you're here. And they're like, wow, okay. And he was trying to go find a bathroom. He wisely decided not to and went back with his family. And I was like, oh, your family. Okay. They were the ones that almost walked through here. And I was like, I'm going to go talk to your family. And so I went over there, and it's like, you guys are here at just the right time. And I told them all about it. And it was really cool. But sometime in there, this crazy lady, you know, kind of your run of the mill Florida lady, and she's I can hear her like yelling at somebody on her phone. She's obviously distraught about something, and she starts walking the same direction, but from the beach and like between me and the lifeguard stand. And I'm like, ma'am, 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 ma'am. And then when she gets about here, about standing in the middle of the O, she turns to me and she goes, "What? I'm in the middle of something." She's like, "What? I'm sorry." I said, "I've been trying to get your attention since like 10 steps ago." "I'm sorry." Okay. And she walks a little further. "I'm sorry." And then like she gets a few steps past that and she's explaining to the person she's on the phone with. She said, "I don't know. Some guy's trying to film something or something. I don't know." And then like she's like halfway back to the parking lot and she turned around and yelled, "I'm sorry," one last time.
At least you know she was sorry.
She's
She
sorry.
was sorry.
And some say to this day she's still walking the beaches of Cocoa Beach just yelling, "I'm
You can
sorry."
hear her echoes.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It must be Florida man's girlfriend.
Yeah. We call her Florida girl.
Or her soul will never be free because she wasn't really sorry.
Right.
For every sorry is extra year of purgatory.
So back to the photo, how it was made. I thought about kind of giving a how to. I don't know if we have time. Let me just kind of give you a little bit of the root of the image. Let me pull up Lightroom. So I'll show you the two images separately. And actually, fun little tip. Right before launch, one of the guys on the those lifeguard little, it's like a golf cart, but it's gas powered. It's got the big knobby tires. Drove right through my one.
Oh.
Drove right through it. So it was a good thing that I got this image first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I can quickly show you guys how to do this. So you take your two images, you do your edits. I can show you over here. So I've done my adjustments and stuff, and same with this. Try to get it close. You take and select them both, right click, edit in Photoshop, open anyway. I don't know what that said. Just open it. And it should.
Something about the end of the universe.
Yeah, it said if you
Something about terms of service.
If you hit open anyway, then the universe will end.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I should have had these open already.
Yeah.
Come on. Ew, is this
So
classic?
today
Yes,
we
it's
are
classic.
playing
Seth.
Podcast 101.
Right. Yeah, and I actually told myself I should probably do this first. Okay, so check it out. So I select all. That's a Control A. Select all. Control C will copy. Go back over to this one. Control V will paste it right on top. As you can see, nothing moved. I made sure the camera did not move. That is key. Make sure your camera does not move if you're trying to do something like this. And then I take layer 1, this button down here. This is I guess we've got this little thing in the way here. I'll move that. This is your mask button. So I'll make this a mask. All right. Now let me move us out of the way. And now to add and erase, you're going to use your paintbrush, just your regular old everyday brush tool. And you just use white or black. And you can switch between those. Black is erase, white is add. Get a decent size paintbrush. And then you start painting what you don't want from that top one. Just paint it right away. See? Get rid of that cart there. Do like this. And now it's all becoming clear. Now there's a lot more to it. It took a lot longer than just this, but this is the basic of it. And you can take your time and get everything just right. And then I wanted to leave these two people here because I like the ghostly image there. And then say you screw up a little bit. So you flip back so that you're using white and you can add that back. So you're not deleting, you're not erasing, you're masking. All right. Ah. And then what you do to get this back over into Lightroom, you just go and you must choose save. Don't choose save as, don't try to export, nothing. You just hit save. And then what it does is it opens it back up in Lightroom, and it stacks them for you. And now since doing that edit, I tilted it, adjusted it, did some further adjustments, but it exports it as a TIFF, which is a high quality image, and you can still do your adjustments from there. So I still did some temperature adjustments and some local adjustments and stuff like that, but that is in a nutshell how you mask.
And I don't believe you can do that as extensively that on the iPad.
No,
Or mobile.
No, you can do these things, but it's not gonna be as smooth, and it may not turn out as good. Yeah, so there you go. That's my image. Let's move on. I feel like we're running out of time.
Furiously scribbles notes.
Just rebroadcast and watch it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think YouTube's mad at me because I am doing all this stuff. I'm gonna close out these before it gets to be too late.
Don't make YouTube bad.
Yeah. Yeah, YouTube, I just looked over and YouTube's like, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth blah blah blah. All right. Now, let's talk about pad shots. That do though.
That's pretty cool.
It actually, I think Matt's turned out great.
Yeah.
It's got the water droplets. You were able to find some definition in the plume and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did they clear out some of the Starship stuff, or was it just not in the way?
It was all there for a glorious. It was actually really, really funny story. When we had first come up to the pad to put remotes, they were actually getting a booster into the hangar.
Were they?
Were they? Yes,
yeah.
they were. So we had a booster that they were actively moving, and I was like, ooh. But when they brought us inside the gates of 39A, they still had all the Starship stuff out. You can see here all the debris was still out. It was just, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So what happened, for anyone that doesn't understand why there's water spots, it's by no fault of anyone's, really, because the camera setup was Friday afternoon.
Yeah, 2 days in the elements.
Right.
Oof.
And there's hand warmers and all that stuff, but hand warmers don't last long enough.
Yeah.
Get that.
18 hours at best.
Right.
Florida's wet.
Yeah, it's very wet.
Yeah.
And when it gets cold, we have a high dew point, so it ends up like dew forms very easily at like 70 and 72.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I actually ended up running out of time too. They only gave us 20 minutes at each spot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the tripod that I was using for my wide shot at the other spot, which surprisingly enough, it actually ended up working out. The tripod just wasn't cooperating with me at all. Was not cooperating with me whatsoever. So I spent the majority of my time fighting with that darn freaking tripod.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it worked out for the outside on the crawlerway shot.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out for that one. So
do you have that one on here?
It's I think I have it posted up there somewhere, but yeah, it's not. I'm not exactly thrilled with them because the dew just kind of.
Yeah, but
I don't want to say it ruined everything, but it didn't make everything as good as what it could have been. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Well,
these ones here are the better ones.
It's better than mine.
Those spots worked out great for you.
It's way better than mine. Mine was just super hazy. In fact, it reminds me a lot of my very first one, which was Falcon Heavy STP-2. This looks a lot like that. But with that one, I totally forgot to do the hand warmer. And this one, hand warmer just died before I could do anything.
It was out there for a long time.
How long do hand warmers last?
The longest ones last 18 hours. There's 10-hour and there's 18-hour ones.
Yeah. Now you could do dew heaters, which I'm still trying to figure it out, where you can put it on a timer, and then that timer is powered by either a battery pack or like a motorcycle battery. But I'm still trying to fine tune that. And if you do that, then you won't have an issue whatsoever because your lens will stay dry, because those usually last a couple of days. So
and you can, I mean, the heaters themselves are quite a draw, but you can set them to like you could set them to turn
Low
on an hour before launch and then turn off like at launch, and then you could set it probably to do it the sequential days as long as you know what the launch time is. Right?
Exactly.
I would
And
think
like
that would
back
be
up
possible.
backup windows and all that other stuff. So you can have it do where it's like an hour on, hour off, you know what I mean? Or like an hour on and like 10, 20 minutes off, you know what I mean? Because that heat's gonna stay on the lens. It's just not just gonna go away. It's gonna stay on the lens.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
What
I'm
if you
still
put
trying
some Rain-X on there so all the water would just fall right off?
Then you just have streaks.
You would,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah. You'd.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be like greasing your lens, and it would.
Yeah,
you'd
you would.
have, yeah.
Haze, even more haze.
the optics on a lens is a different. Yeah, it has a
It would
special
work.
coating on it.
It would work,
Yeah.
but it would be like you grease the lens, which is like, you know how sometimes when you don't clean the lens on your phone, and there's like
You mean all the times?
from a there's it's like
The
it's
haze.
actually like you look at my background, it'd be like these kind of lines from the light, but they'll be like all the way over the image.
Here we go, Steve. I'll pull up my my streak shot that I got from Crew-1.
Okay.
Give you a good example of what it might look like, of what the haze and the dew really looks like. Now, there was a big meaning behind the streak shot. If I would have used hand warmers, it would have turned out a whole lot better.
Right
there
here?
we go. Yes, it would have turned a whole lot better.
Yeah.
But the dew killed that shot.
Yeah, and that dew, I was set up right next to you too. That dew got everybody's cameras like at the last minute. It all started showing up because it got yours, it got mine, it got the guys that was like right next to us because they started talking about it like 2 minutes before launch.
I'll tell you.
Jeff.
They hurried up and wiped theirs down. I didn't have time to walk out there in the dark and wipe mine down, so I got a street shot that's
I
just
guess-
like yours. It's all spotted.
It must have been because you guys are so close to the water. Because at the VAB, I didn't have.
Dude,
I didn't have that much of a
problem.
problem.
That spot, we weren't at the normal spot where you go and watch Atlases and Falcons from 40. It was a
No.
different spot.
Yeah,
on the
that's where we
station.
were for DM2. We're at the same spot.
Yeah, and it's like, could y'all like at least cut the grass a bit for us? Like that
Yeah.
that was some bushwhacking stuff. Like those mosquitoes out there, dude, they almost carried me off.
Yeah.
Those suckers are big.
Yeah, they are giant.
Yeah, but this one would have been good if the dew would not. If I would have thought about a hand warmer on that, it would have turned out to be a really fantastic shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you guys had a lot more probably going on. I had like my whole night was riding on one shot, you know, minus my remote, and so it was like 20 minutes to launch, and I looked at my lens, and I'm like, there's dew, and then I tried, you know, I got my lens, you know, my lens cloth, and I'm like trying to wipe it off. I'm like, it ain't gonna cut it. So I just took. I have one emergency hand warmer in my camera bag, and I opened it up, and I just took it and I put it on the lens, and then like this is a big 8mm wide angle thing, so there's a lot of room when you put the lens cap on. So I just put the lens cap over it and let it sit there for like the next 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm just going to leave this on here until it's about time to launch. And so rather than like taping it around the lens like you normally do, because that would have taken far too long to get the glass itself warm, I just took that hand warmer and slapped it right on the front of the lens and put the lens cap on it. And it was, and whenever I looked at it like right before launch, I was like, oh, great. It's so much clearer. Like there was, every time I wiped it, I was like, I just can't get it clean. It's like there was more oil on it or something, and I just kept like wiping and it just wouldn't come off. So slap that hand warmer right on the front of the lens. Worked
Slap
out
it on
great.
there.
Just slap it.
Slap it.
Just slap
it.
What else?
Now, I hope everybody remembers that, because we do have a Starlink launch on Saturday. It is at 10 o'clock. The dew is going to be a factor. Use your hand warmers, and use your hand warmers about an hour before.
Yeah.
Use them hand warmers. Get that lens all nice and toasty, so that way you don't have that issue. Now, the guys who have been doing this for a while, they know this. They know if it's at night, and doesn't matter if it's summertime or whatever, it's at night here in Florida, they already know, put the hand warmers on the lens.
Just have them with you, and you know, and be diligent. Check your lens, you know.
Yeah.
Get your phone flashlight out, look at the lens. If it looks like it's collected a bunch of dew, then you know, especially, you know, give yourself 20 or 30 minutes prior to launch and do your due diligence.
I'm tempted to use it each time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Buy a whole bunch of them little 10-hour ones and
Mhm.
slap one on there pretty much every single time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you got mine?
Or use
My,
the dew
my
heater.
streak shot.
I have a
No.
I have a dew heater, so I could probably use that each time. And I'll just put that up to a power bank. So there you go.
Yeah, let's see Keagle's, because Keagle was
Mine
over
was
there by the VAB, and I thought
That was an experience. I've never been that close for a launch, and I was telling.
Wait,
I think I told you guys in chat. Hey,
Becca's getting
hey,
excited. Becca likes Nicolas Cage. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
That's
all
great.
like the sheet metal on that VAB was rattling so loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gnarly standing there for a launch.
So I'm guessing it was hard to fit it all in frame, even with that 6.5 millimeter.
I cropped.
Is this cropped in? I guess it is a square, so you probably
It's cropped on the right. I should have moved it. I probably could have got the whole VAB. But I just want to at least keep the meatball in there just in case.
Yeah, just for good measure.
Yeah. So I could have got the whole VAB.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
you might be able to do this again, right? You might have another opportunity to do this. Oh, and this is the firing room right here too.
Yeah, they don't bother you. That's what all that's employees all doing the same thing, all standing around.
Yeah,
watching it. That's where you're allowed to go.
Yeah,
and then they're also projecting a video on the VAB all night.
Oh yeah, I want to see that too because that was really neat. Where did you?
Yeah, the countdown timer was pretty cool on the VAB. They showed the same countdown timer on the webcast.
Yeah, you don't want audio. It's just me standing next to where the projector was.
Yeah. It automatically plays audio when you blow it up. But yeah, that's super cool. Like nobody got to see this. Did they even show this on the webcast?
I don't know.
Oh, this is the webcast.
No. It's a 5-minute like slideshow because the guy had the laptop open where the big projector was, and I was looking at it. And I was like, I don't want to hold my phone for 5 minutes.
So this is just for the enjoyment of the people that are watching it right there.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Or driving by, or I guess the building across the street, what
McDonald's?
McDonald Douglas? No, McDonald Douglas ain't anymore. I forgot. There's another one, and if you were up on the top balcony, and that's where the vice president was at, probably you can see it. So
yeah, that's where they had.
That's why it was in that position.
Yeah, they had it all decked out.
That was for the VP. Yeah.
Yeah. They had the red, white, and blue streamers all on the balcony railing and everything.
Let's talk about booster return.
Yeah, it's the Lockheed Martin building. That's what it is.
Yeah, Lockheed Martin there now. Yeah. It used to be a McDonnell Douglas. You're correct.
Yeah. Then Boeing bought them.
So the booster from this mission came back with quite a lean to it.
And a bird.
It just so happened that this
I love that bird.
Crazy bird.
I believe the technical term is gangsta-lean.
Gangsta-lean.
That's how he gets his fish.
No, for the booster. I mean, that's the technical term for the booster.
Right.
We're both like, whoa. Now I see him.
Yeah. So look at this crazy lean, and it kind of depended on where you're standing. Like there were some shots. It was like if you were angled just right, it didn't look like anything was different. But if you're off to the side like this, basically perpendicular to its angle of lean, you could really get a sense of it.
And one leg was off the ground.
Right.
Yeah. We thought the leg was hanging off the drone ship there at certain perspectives until we saw that it actually was not.
Right. Yeah. It did look like it, but it's actually this railing is keeping it on board. But look, you can see that the leg is lifted off. I have a shot of that, but who cares?
I think everybody's got a shot of that.
Yeah, everybody's got a shot of that leg being lifted up. This it's just super cool. I mean, even just looking at the bottom, like sometimes if the booster's leaning a little bit, which it is sometimes leaning a little bit. But when you zoom in on the bottom, you can't really tell the lean. But here, you can 100% tell that it's leaning. It's just crazy.
I'm curious what caused that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it shifted from the rough seas because
Yeah,
you
I'm
look at
going
the
with that
landing
too.
video. The landing video is pretty good in the
Yeah.
center,
Yeah,
right?
it had
It's all the
to.
way over there.
Oh yeah, it definitely moved. But the question is, did it use up the crush core on the landing? I've seen some people speculate that it was the rough seas is what gave it the tilt.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think that that's possible. I think that the crush core is built to withstand so much impact that I don't think that some rolling seas where that.
Yeah, but if it's a crush core and it's constantly this booster is going back and forth all its weight constantly, it's gonna whittle it down, right?
No, we've seen older video where, like early video of landings, where the thing just scoots across the deck.
And that was Tycom.
Yeah.
That was the leaning tower of Tycom, right?
Yeah, that was like a long time ago. So you got to assume they've gotten a little bit better with how they build these and whatnot. So it probably did come down. You know what it was? It was probably angled away from the camera, so it looked like it was straight up.
Exactly.
With the way the camera was.
Either towards the camera or away from the camera. The lean was exactly. That's what.
But it did slide over to the corner of the
Oh, for sure.
It definitely slid.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can see in the stream that it landed pretty much in the center.
Mm-hmm.
And then migrated.
And it's stuck on the side.
Yeah. Let's see.
Wish there was video of it sliding around.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like a bumper car goes from one side to the other.
Kyle got these shots. He had the wherewithal. Kyle is a wise man. He had the wherewithal to look at the crush cores. They have these measurements, so they can see how much of the crush core was used up. So this is one that wasn't used up much. And I'm guessing these are these inches?
Yeah.
Probably. But look at this one. It's almost down to the bottom. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of how much of that crush core was used. And so much so that, and actually, look at this. I don't know if he did this on purpose, but you can see the foot from the other leg up off the ground.
Just dangling.
Way to go, Kyle. Are you out there?
Dang, Kyle.
I think he was here.
Been at work all day. I didn't see these.
Yeah, dude, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, way to go, Kyle. If you're not following Kyle, you better be.
You should be.
Kyle Montgomery.
Kyle be getting it. He be getting it.
Yep, he gets it. And he actually, this week, I don't know if he made it this week, but he was promoting it this week. He made a port stalker guide on his website. Yeah. So, definitely check that out if you want to know how we know when to be at the port for this stuff. Then follow him.
Yeah, don't do like me. Pay attention to Gavin's tweets.
Yes, yeah.
If he updates the time, idiot me got there at like 6 this morning.
Yeah.
What we got going on here?
Hey, Harry said that you can also see the Starlink antenna on the drone ship in that picture.
Where?
Ooh.
Where? Which
one? That must be further back.
Yeah.
Maybe not in that picture. He didn't say in that picture, but I'm assuming he was talking about that picture.
This picture?
He just said you can see the Starlink antenna on the drone ship.
I don't see it there.
No, maybe
probably in some in some other people's.
Maybe they're saying up there on the left, on top of that little shack there.
Yeah, left on the shack there. That is a Starlink antenna.
Where?
Up top.
Oh, I see. Okay,
not this.
Upside down.
Not
that.
The
other shack,
on
the red
top
shack
of the red.
on the left.
Top of the red.
The red
left
shack.
building.
Oh,
Top
this
of
right
the
here?
red. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone needs to get a better shot. Well, there's some aerial
I don't
shots.
look like a pizza.
There's some aerial shots.
That could be it.
Bring up Krause's aerial shots.
Harry said wider shot, and Astro Guy said top left.
Yeah,
that's just where
this
that
one here, right?
was. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Seth just yelled at me.
That ain't top left.
Oh,
someone got a closer shot. Well, I don't know what to. I mean, I think that's it. I think that's what they're talking about.
We'll have to revisit that.
Yeah. Oh man, I wonder if anybody got a good one. I know that one Mr. Trevor did go flying.
Yeah.
God bless him for going flying in that wind. I wouldn't have done it. That wind was bad today.
I'm kind of I
didn't even think about that.
If they're willing to do it, I'm willing to fly.
Yeah, if the pilot will do it, why would I be scared?
Oh wait, that picture
Look
right there.
at that.
Hold on.
Oh.
Yep. Boom. That's it.
Oh,
you can't zoom in?
Can't zoom in. Trevor's wise. Yes. He doesn't put full resolution out. That does look like. That does
Does he?
look. Oh, this.
I wouldn't
over
see
here
why not.
Does too.
It might have two.
It might have a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy,
Oh,
that
man.
deck sure does look different.
And that's got to
the one
be.
time we went flying.
I don't think that would be a good one to use on there because it can't move with the the pitch and the yaw of the ship's not gonna have great connection.
Well, I guess it's just point it straight up and hope there's a satellite above you, right?
Yeah, but if you're getting some waves, that thing's gonna be pointing 30, 40 degrees each way.
Even when you have one that's designed to work in the surf, if it's heavy surf, it doesn't work very well. I can tell you that.
So did anyone figure out
darn
what this
fact.
is leaking? This junk coming down?
I do think it is hydraulic fluid.
leak?
Yeah,
That's what I said, but no one ever answered me.
We don't know. You know, it's a
It
guess,
looks like
but I
hydraulic.
don't know what else it could be. But one thing I thought was interesting is this might help us answer the question of if it's a decal or if it's paint or if it's indented.
It's totally indented. Look at that, man. That's totally indented.
Well, see,
it's
I
drooling
see
over
I
it,
see
so
it
it's
the other way,
actually
like
out.
because right in here you see where the fluid
It's
has
building up.
gathered on top of the, but also right here you see that it's gathered underneath. But surface tension could make it grab onto the decal right here and make it pool there until enough gathers and then it finally drips down. But you don't really see it pooling on the inner edge, what would be the indention here, right? You see it pooling on the upper edge above what would be
I see
a
what you're
decal.
saying, yeah.
You get what I mean?
It has to be an indention because a decal would burn off in the atmosphere.
No,
Maybe if it's not
a
flammable.
a tiny little surface is not going to protect the vinyl sticker. It's
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it has to be indented because when it went, never mind.
I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
think
it's
it's
indented.
it's raised.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, it's raised whatever the thickness of the decal is. I think.
One of these days we're gonna get a definite answer to this question. We will definitely get an answer.
Well, what about that one that's on display? Why does no one has any close-up photos of that one?
That's an older one.
Maybe
though.
not close enough.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think you can get close enough to like touch it or anything.
Well, close enough to
let you
get
do
really good zoomed-in pictures and at an
The
angle.
one
and
in
see-
the one in Texas, the one in Houston. Yeah, you could totally touch that thing.
Oh, that's right. The one that's horizontal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're using the same processes though, because that has the white grid fins.
Why do I feel like we were talking about the same subject last time I was on?
How
How did we do that again?
Rockets?
No. Like the
Rise
paint
of
job.
Lights.
No, the paint job on a Falcon. We were talking about that last time I was on.
Yeah.
At least this time I don't have two goofballs, distracting me.
because we need the answer to this question.
We need to know. Yeah.
We have to know. Is it indented? Is it a decal? Is it painted? We need to know this.
We got to know these things, man. Yeah. So we don't know what the leak was about. We don't know if maybe that had something to do with the rough landing. Now, I do know that the grid fins don't have much impact in the last little bit of the landing process because
it slows down so much.
They're mostly effective in the upper atmosphere and when it's going really fast. Not necessarily the upper atmosphere. It's when it's going fast. That's when the grid fins are most effective. So
I never pay attention. When do they pop in? After it lands?
Yeah, it's after it lands. Yeah, they're out the whole time. And in fact, they'll still be moving as it's coming in and it's almost, touching down. They'll still be doing something, but they've always said that they're most effective when it's going fast. So, I don't know. Just interesting. It looks like it's beat up, but Elon did tweet that they'll just replace some parts and be good to go. This is the same booster that they plan on using for Crew-2, and that's supposed to be like next March, April, something like that. Probably get moved back. You know how it goes.
Wonder if they're going to clean it for a crewed launch. You think?
Maybe they'll clean off this stuff?
Oh yeah, that for sure. Yeah, I should hope so.
Looks an awful lot like when Christina Aguilera got sweaty on stage and her self tanner was dripping down her legs.
There you go. That's the name of this booster, Christina.
Dripping tanning solution.
Wait, somebody made the joke at Port earlier today that the Falcons mascara was running.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
It's a real problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keagle, is this your background? Is that actually the time lapse, or is this just like the video running?
It's a full hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
I just I was expecting it to like go dark and then start over. So it's just been going this whole time, and
or an hour and a half or something.
If you've been watching,
it'll be dark.
If you had been watching Keagle's Hollywood Square, you would have watched the sunset at 39A. All right, that's it. Is there anything else that I've missed?
I kind of wanted to talk about my pictures, but
where are they?
It's the pictures of the animals.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Playing with your camera.
Yeah,
we still got to give out all of Daryl's stuff too, by the way, because Daryl is happening brother on Twitter. Who am I looking for? Becca. No. Why am I in there?
Google me.
I'm not Googling you.
So the other day, I had the day off, and I decided I wanted to go out and explore and
there you go.
practice with my camera.
Where's you at?
And it's up. It's right there. So the ultimate goal was to go to Playa Linda because I had not been there yet, and I wanted to get up to the fence and see what it actually looks like from there, and take a couple of practice shots of just what I could see at the time. And I decided to just stop anywhere along the way that looked interesting, and I stopped at the Merritt Island Wildlife Refuge Visitor Center, and it was closed, but you could still walk on the trails. So I was hoping to find some animals to take some practice shots of things that move. Mm-hmm. And I was lucky enough to see several. I saw this cute little snake.
Slithery little snake.
I was very surprised that I did see it because I was walking kind of fast and it was in a tree.
And they're made to hide.
Yeah, you're not supposed to see him, really. So I got this picture of this little guy. I got another picture of him, too. It's at the end. I saw a big alligator, and I saw... Yeah, we'll just look at the other picture of this snake.
Yeah. I was trying to sneak over to it without anybody seeing the other ones.
It was very photogenic, that
what
snake.
Turtle?
Turtle?
And, yeah, I saw the big alligator. I saw the turtle. It was, I always try to take pictures of turtles and they never hang out long enough at the top of the water for me to actually get the picture. But this turtle was very accommodating and he stayed up there long enough for me to get a good shot of him.
You got it yet? Come on.
Yeah. And I saw this teeny tiny little dragonfly about the size of a push pin. And that was one of the more difficult ones to get. And so I left there and I drove down a road called Peacock's Pocket that was right next to, well, maybe like
that's
half a
reason
mile
enough
down.
To drive down that road.
Yeah, it was,
Right?
and it ended up being a very long road, a dirt and gravel road, and it went alongside a little water situation the whole way. And I get to the end and I see what I wasn't sure what it was. And I asked Steve-O what building it was. And he very, very politely answered me as if I wasn't an idiot that it was the VAB. And thank you for that. And so it was a really cool spot. And I'm going to probably try to, if I can, go back there and take a picture at some point during the launch. If I can, if it's open, I don't know if it will be. Because I met a man at the end of that road. I don't remember his name, but he told me that they close all those roads down apparently.
They do.
They do. Yeah, because this is a safety concern. Because I've seen gators walking across the street out over there. So
I found a snake on the road, and I not pictured, but I do have a picture. But so I ended up making it to Playa Linda, and they had parking lot 1 closed, so I parked in 2, and
just on 13.
Yeah, I didn't go quite that far. And so I parked at 2 and I started my trek walking over to the fence and I saw these birds on the way, and they were the last picture I got because by the time I got to the fence, my camera was dead. So I did not get to do what I set out to do for the day. But look at this bird on the left. He's injured. He's got.
Oh, poor buddy.
I don't know what happened to him, but I hope he's okay.
Fighting with the other birds?
Maybe. I don't see blood on any of their beaks.
Well, they're in the water and they're eating.
You should see the other guy.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, so I'm working on practicing and trying to get better at taking pictures. And I'm
It's
having
fun.
a great time while I do it.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Get to go
About having
explore.
fun.
It is fun.
Photography is
And
about
actually, it looks like your first time out is better than my first time out. Yeah, like the light is good. It was a beautiful sunny day. My first time ever going out with a camera. It was this gloomy, overcast day, and I went to the lake nearby in Nashville, and just tried, And at that time, I was just like, "There's something I'm doing wrong. Why do these all look so bland?" And I didn't know anything about lighting, and there's so much stuff. Some of it you can control, some of it you can't control. But
photography is a very big field.
Yeah, a lot of stuff you can do. So let's talk about Daryl's stuff. So Daryl, you are Sausse Images. Let me.
Yes.
I'll pull up.
Sausse.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is you right here. Do you have a website too where people can buy prints?
Yes, I do. It's actually right there in my Twitter bio.
dsausse.smugmug. Sorry. It's DSAUSSE.smugmug.